This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Hit the like, subscribe if you are new. We got Clay Harbor back on the channel. He's been around for a little bit. He's seen the whole Jalen Hurts era take place. Nick Sirianni, he had some big things to say about it, and a lot of it came true. So we got him back to talk post-draft, roster predictions early, some free agency stuff. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing great. Always love to come on. You know, I love talking my Eagles. Love my time there. Love Philly. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. I'm still hurt. I don't know if I talked to you since the Super Bowl. I'm still a little hurt. You know, I took the Eagles. I thought they should have won. I thought that hold was bogus, but we're going to get past that because it's a new year. We had a heck of a draft. We lost Javon Hargrave. Our D-line got better. So, you know, I'm ready for this season.
Yeah, and if you haven't bought yours, the link will be in the description and the pinned comment section. Look, the Philly Dogs Run Faster shirt. You know what I mean? The movement is for real. 5 Georgia Bulldogs, and that's not the only dogs on this team. But real quick, linebacker is a need that I think a lot of fans think that we should address for depth purposes. I think right now having Nicobe Dean as that main guy, we believe in him 100%, but we're not too sure of the Nicholas Morrow and the depth behind that. I do want to get your take on a prospect, Myles Jack, formerly played with the Jacksonville Jaguars, one of your former teams, and another former team, Chicago Bear, Nicholas Morrow. So what can you give me from Myles Jack, Nicholas Morrow, and how do you think they would, well, one's on the team and one could possibly be coming on the team. How would that impact that linebacker room?
You know, I don't mind the linebacker room. I see why some people are worried about it, though. It's you know, it's evident they don't have the backers they had last year. Obviously, losing TJ Edwards, that's a big loss. I mean, TJ could play. He's not the most highly touted guy, the most flashy player, but he was smart. And when TJ Edwards started playing 2 years ago, that's when the Eagles defense started playing. He was a commander of that defense. But I think Nakobe Dean's ready. He's a young guy. You know, Georgia Bulldog, they got him in the 3rd round, but Nakobe Dean showed me some things when he's on the field. He's fast and he's athletic. He's got a lot of things that a lot of linebackers don't got. He's going to have a leg up on most other linebackers in this league with his athleticism and his instincts. I like Nakobe Dean. I think if he stays healthy, cool. He's good. He's going to have a solid year. And then Davian Taylor, he's had some ups, he's had some downs, but he's a guy that's got some reps. He's got some snaps in the past. I mean, we've seen him on the field. It's not a complete meltdown when he's out there. Obviously, he's not great. Maybe he gets better this offseason. He's still a young guy, but he's okay. And then Nicholas Morrow, he's a guy I got to watch a lot because I cover Chicago Bears for NBC Sports and CBS Sports in Chicago. Watch Nicholas Morrow every week. He's not going to be a weakness. He is not going to be a huge strength, that's for sure. But Nicholas Morrow is a veteran. He will get his job done, and he will be where he needs to be. You're not going to see any crazy plays. He's not going to be a top 10 graded linebacker like TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, New Bear, but he will get his job done. He was not the problem with the Chicago Bears defense and why they were so bad last year. Nicholas Morrow was always in the right spot. He was a veteran. He was a professional. He was a hard worker. He's not going to do anything crazy, but I think with the Eagles, where you make that money is with your secondary and your D-line. You just need those linebackers to be in the right spot and to make the tackles when they get funneled to him, and Nicholas Morrow can do that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And plus, when you have that defensive line and that secondary that is pretty much doing their job, I think it's easier as a linebacker to just fit the need, right? Drop back into the right zones, hit the right holes on your run discipline and your run stance. But what can you tell me from Myles Jack? I know a lot of people look at him as like when he was drafted to the Jaguars, he had a lot of potential. He had a really down year playing 1 year for the Steelers. Not really down, but he didn't do much. But I can see him as, look, we've seen Kaiser White come to the Eagles 1 year deal, and now he got paid to go to the Arizona Cardinals. So that's why I think Myles Jack ain't going to get the big payday or a payday he likes, but coming to the Eagles for 1 year, playing alongside a Nicobe Dean, having a chance to start maybe over a Nicholas Morrow, or at least battle in training camp for that job, you could really up your value if you come along, do what you need to do, as Nicholas Morrow is going to do, you said, and help this defense get back to the playoffs and make another deep run.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Myles Jack is a veteran that would literally be the perfect fit for the Eagles. He just adds depth. And he's, like you said, he's not going to get paid, but he comes for a 1 year deal. This guy's played 7-8 years now. And I was with the Jaguars 2012, 13, 14, 15. He came in 16. We missed each other by a year. But talking to my teammates about this guy, those are still your boys. You go back to Jacksonville, you live there, offseason, you got your place, whatever. Talking about the team. Yeah, what's up, these new guys? Myles Jack's a hardworking dude, man. He's a hard-nosed guy, hardworking dude. He's a professional. Those are the things that you hear about him. And this guy has over 620 tackles in his career. He had 100 tackles last year. He's ready to go. He's a veteran. He ain't going to see nothing he ain't seen before. If you want a veteran linebacker that you can plug in, plug and play, Nicobe Dean, I think he's going to be great. He's still only 22 years old. He's younger than most rookies. I know it's going to be his second year, but he is still a young dude. He's got a long career ahead of him, but he's still 22. Like, he might still have some learning to do. That's a young dude, man. So I think he's going to be good, but it would be good to have a veteran to learn from. Who's he learning from right now? Nicholas Morrow's okay. Who's teaching him? Who's teaching him the ins and out? Bring in a guy like Myles Jack. Not only is he going to play on the field, help your team win, stop the run. When this D-line is standing dudes up, he's going to be able to fill up these gaps. Okay, he's done it before. He's a veteran. He's proven. Now you got a guy that can help your 22-year-old linebacker that you want to be the mainstay of your defense right now. You let Kaiser White go. You let TJ White go. He's got to learn from somebody. That person ain't there right now. Bring in Myles Jack.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that whether the fan base thinks that Myles Jack is another Nicholas Morrow, at the end of the day, it adds depth, and these two can fight it out to play alongside of Nicobe Dean. The new era of football with the passing schemes and the passing game, there's a lot of nickel and dime anyway, so you're only ever going to have maybe two linebackers on the field at a time. Now you go play some 3-4, you have your pass rushing guys. We got Nolan Smith and Hassan Reddick for that. It's going to be interesting to see how the new D coordinator, dials things up, but Nicobe Dean is definitely going to get the keys to the linebacking room, and I'm glad he was able to redshirt. What is your take on the narrative that Nicobe Dean wasn't good enough to play last year? Having two guys who are veterans, and TJ Edwards and Kaiser White, who were on their last year or a 1 year deal, I think redshirting is not necessarily saying anything bad about Nicobe Dean. It's about saying what the other players did, and it gave him that 1 year to sit behind guys. As you said, no one's there to teach him now. It's his room. But, the narrative mainly from our NFC East rivals is that Nicobe Dean might not be as good as we thought because he couldn't get on the field and blah, blah, blah. You being a former player, seeing teams seeing players sit behind someone who has tremendous talent, what is your take on Nicobe Dean's first year being the guy?
Yeah, man, it's hard to play as a rookie. I'm going to be real. To get in there as a rookie and to play, he was a 20-year-old, 21-year-old rookie. This dude is young, and he wasn't as good as TJ Edwards or Kaiser White last year. He just wasn't. Last year, he was a rookie. These guys were veterans. They had been in this league for several years. For him to come in and to be better than them right off the bat would have been something very out of the ordinary in that situation. That's not saying a bad thing about him. He wasn't as good as TJ because TJ had seen more snaps. He was quicker to the ball, quicker to the reads. Kaiser White, they seen more time. Now he had a whole year to learn under those guys, to see how they did things. Athletically, he's far superior in those guys athletically. Not even close. His ceiling, way higher than those guys. Ceiling is way higher. I think Nicobe Dean could be a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker. Okay? He's got that kind of, like, watching him when I was out in training camp and preseason and when he was on the field and like, going to the practices. So this dude can play. As a former tight end, he can guard a tight end. That's the first thing I look for. Is he a liability in coverage? Can you have him out there third down, first, second down can he guard a tight end? Yes. Okay. Secondly, is this guy physical? Can he take on a pulling guard? Can he stop the run? Watch that. Okay. Yes. Okay, man, this guy's quick. Sideline to sideline too. He's got the tools. Those are the tools I look for. Now it's about, he needs a year maybe to diagnose plays. He's got to be the quarterback of the defense. Once he learns that becomes second nature. I saw it myself. He's got the tools to do everything you need to do. The dude can fly. He can guard a tight end. He can take on blocks. He can be a good linebacker, and I think he will be. And I feel like Dallas is going to learn real quick that this dude can play.
Hey, listen, the crazy thing is I didn't even say the actual NFC East rival that was talking all that trash, but he knew right away. It's the Dallas Cowboy fans trying to play, the Jordan Davis and the Nicobe Dean. What did your Georgia boys do for you last year? One got hurt, blah, blah, blah. I think Davis was, really good before the injury, and coming back, he had some more veterans now he had to get in front of, right? They signed Linval Joseph. They signed Ndamukong Suh because of the injury to not just Jordan Davis, but Marlon T. I'm not going to try to say his last name right now. So he came back with that, and a high ankle sprain for someone that size is not easy to just come back and play at a high level, especially, as you said, a rookie. They're not used to the long season, all that stuff. So the two Georgia boys that were on the team, I think, are going to come out and have their season that made you say, oh, this is why Jordan Davis was a 13th overall pick. This is why Nicobe Dean was everybody's sleeper in the draft third round. Size don't matter once you see this guy get involved and get the keys to the defense. I totally agree there. Let's talk about some other Georgia Bulldogs and the Eagles draft in general. Off the back, what do you grade it, seeing what they were able to do in 2023 draft?
I give him an A+, man. I mean, I don't know I think Howie's got some dirt on some of these other GMs, man, including my hometown, Chicago, Ryan Poles, man, letting them take Jalen Carter like that. I think this draft was exactly what the Eagles need. Okay, Javon Hargrave's leaving. You got Jordan Davis there, but you want another dog in the middle. BG's getting older. Okay, BG's getting a little older, still one of the top players over 30 in this league. I mean, this guy had his top pass rushing grade of his career this season with 12 sacks at 35 coming off of an Achilles. BG can still play. Fletch, he getting old too. I know they're getting old because I play with them. That's why I know they're getting old. BG was in my draft class. BG got to be feeling it, man. My back when I wake up in the morning, you needed to revamp this D-line. What did you do? You get Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. These are arguably going to be the two best defensive linemen in the draft. Guess who Nolan Smith gets to learn from? I know we've said it over and over again. Hassan Reddick, his body double. The athletic freak, undersized guy. He's going to show him exactly what he needs to do to win against these big offensive linemen in the NFL. He's going to show, hey, you're not going to be able to do the same things you did in college. Here's what you need to do. Here's what I did. Here's why I had 16 sacks last year, was in the talk for the defensive player of the year. Here's why I am so successful. He's going to be able to learn from him. That matters. As a tight end, as an NFL player, I know that matters. I've seen it happen time and time again. Having guys you can learn from. Having a guy like Jalen Carter who might have some off-the-field issues. Now he gets to go in that room with Fletch and BG. You think he's going to be acting up with these two old heads in the room? Mike, no. He ain't acting up. They're going to keep this young boy straight. And that draft, and then you get Ringo, another Bulldog, who was I was begging Ryan Poles to take him for the Bears. Said, man, this dude can fly. He can cover. He's still got some work to do. He clean some things up, but the talent's there. They stole him too. So the draft overall for the Eagles, I give them an A+. Incredible. They revamped. Obviously, you got Slay and Bradbury. You don't need Ringo. And then my sleeper pick was Brown, the safety.
Yeah.
Unbelievable pick. I watched him at the Senior Bowl. And that was one of the first guys I go, man, that safety can play. This guy's running up. He's laying the wood. He's quick in and out of his breaks. I think he has an outside shot to start this year. Nobody's talking about this kid. I think he can be your starting safety. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know who he's got dirt on. He's saying, hey, if you take this guy, I'm going to leak this photo, you back in 1997. But, whatever, how he's doing, keep doing it, because this draft, in years to come, we're going to look back at this draft and we're going to say, wow, this was incredible that they let this guy get away with this haul a year after playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that is a big thing, too, to be the year after the Super Bowl. And like you said, Ringo you don't really see 6'2", 207 run 4.3. So you have that physical stature.
That don't even sound right, Mike. That doesn't sound right.
Exactly. So you let him sit for the remainder, or let him learn behind two veteran savvy cornerbacks. And then you got at least one corner for the future. That's what we're banking on here. And I agree. Sidney Brown was my second rated safety in this whole draft. We got him. And same with Tyler Steen. I think there's so many rookies from this class that could possibly find themselves in a starting position. I think Terrell Edmonds is coming in, a former Steeler, to start. But I think Reed Blankenship, undrafted rookie free agent who played, 10 games, started 4. That's going to be a battle. Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, and then Cam Jurgens, the guy we drafted to be center, but Jason Kelsey just won't go away, and I don't want him to go away. That's going to be a nice battle. Second man, Cam Jurgens versus rookie Tyler Steen. And then you got Jalen Carter, of course. Then you got Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith probably won't never be the starter because of Hassan Reddick, but I think he's going to play a handful of crucial snaps per game, and I think he's going to be a problem for sure. Where does it stack up to you as it pertains to just how do I want to say this? Let me rephrase that whole question. Who do you think has a better chance to find herself starting year one out of these 65th and 66th pick? Sidney Brown at safety or Tyler Steen at right guard? That's what I wanted to say. I don't know where I was going with the other stuff. It's been a long day. I thought today was Friday for the majority of the day. When I was messaging you back and forth, I was like, wait, Thursday, Friday? Oh, wait, it is Thursday. So I've been going through it today.
No, man, that's all good, Mike. No, honestly, I think both of them have a chance. Cam Jurgens, he turned a lot of heads last year. Obviously, he was behind Jason Kelsey. I don't know. He was more of a center. Can he play guard? Tyler Steen was coming in as a tackle. Can he play guard? Whoever can adapt better to that position has a leg up. I think both of them can do it. And then, Reed Blankenship played some good ball last year. When C.J. Gardner-Johnson was out, when we're down on safeties, and we had some issues there. I think that Terrell Edmonds and Reed Blankenship are players, but I think Sidney Brown, man, after watching him in the Senior Bowl, I was so impressed with his quickness, his smarts. The guy played at Illinois. He's a smart kid. He brings the wood. He's just a Philadelphia Eagles safety. He's one of those guys that just like to hit. He's yoked. He's big. I'm like, that dude looks like a linebacker, but he moves like a safety. He's one of those guys that I think is going to surprise. Come camp, you're going to see a lot of people talking about him. Man, see, we knew this guy could play, but this guy he might start, and I think he's going to find himself in a starting position. I think Jurgens, because he's got the year on him, and last year he learned the offense, and as a young offensive lineman coming in, not getting the first team reps right off the bat, I know it's difficult to learn the playbook, man. I remember me trying to figure that out when you're running with the 3s or the 2s to begin with, and you go to the 1s. So I think Jurgens has got a leg up there, but I think Sidney Brown, good opportunity, former Illinois. I'm from Illinois. That is right down the road from me. This guy can play. Another one of my steals in the draft. How he just keeps doing it, man. Highway robbery. Something needs to take him to court. But I think he's got a chance to start for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that what Illinois asked him to do, which was like play a lot of box safety and stuff like that, he showed he can do at a high level. But in the Senior Bowl, they moved him around, let him play some post safety, be out there and just run the field a little bit. And I think that opened up some new eyes on, wow, he's not just a box safety. He's definitely versatile. And the Eagles have been doing a lot of research into the Senior Bowl. Like we've always come out with a couple people that we've scouted directly from the Senior Bowl in the last, handful of years. So I'm glad that we keep them scouts going there because it seems to be working for sure.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask you when you were talking about, because you cover Chicago for NBC Philadelphia, like, did you have any idea when Chicago was on the board at 9 that they would just move back 1 to the Eagles, get some stuff, or was there a big talk about, hey, if Jalen Carter's there at 9, because listen, the rumor was he wasn't going to fall past Seattle. Like, there was a good chance he goes to Seattle at 5. Then were you thinking that the Bears were going to take Jalen Carter at any time as he was falling?
I thought he was a Bear. Looking back at it, I thought they made the right choice for their team, and they needed that right tackle. But I thought he was a Bear, man. I was on air with NBC Chicago. So on air, and we're doing the broadcast live, and where all the guys were like, he fell. Then it comes up, the Chicago Bears have traded the pick, and we all looked at each other like, oh man, we thought we had this 3 technique that could really just make a difference. He could pass rush, he could stop the run. On the field, I mean, you can't argue with the guy's tape. It was just the off-the-field stuff. I think he found the perfect landing spot because he's got all those veterans and guys that he knows to keep him out of trouble. But yeah, we thought the Bears were. I almost bought my Jalen Carter jersey when he dropped to 9 because I said, hey, no way he's he's going to be there. But I was kind of confused as to the trade with the Eagles. So they traded a 4th rounder. So the Bears didn't trade back to somebody else. It just didn't. It was kind of confusing exactly what was happening there because obviously they're not trading back. They weren't going to take Carter.
Yeah,
they're not the 4th rounder isn't changing their mind. So they're obviously taking the 4th rounder so they don't trade back to like 14, 15, a team that wanted to jump up and maybe take Carter, but then maybe Darnell Wright might not be there, who in my opinion is the best right tackle in the draft. The Bears got, hoping Justin Fields can make a turnaround like one other quarterback out there that we know and love did last season when he got a big-time receiver with a good offensive line. But yeah, we definitely in Chicago, we thought Jalen Carter was coming to the Bears on air. I said, I knew it. They go, Carter. No, they traded it. But I'm glad it was Eagles.
Yeah. If you can't get him, then he goes to your other team, right? So that's good. Real quick, question. Derek Barnett, there's a lot of chatter that, with the pass rushers we got, Derek Barnett, former 1st-round pick, was a part of that Super Bowl team, between, bonehead plays on the field, penalties to being hurt last year. He's on the roster. Do you see him making a push to stay, or do you think he'll be more of a training camp cut with just the, abundance of pass rushers and defensive linemen we got?
I like Barnett, man. I've been in a similar situation, man. They drafted Zach Ertz, they signed James Casey. Too many dogs in front of you, bro. Make sure you work on your craft. You ready to go. You're probably going to make this team unless somebody gets hurt. He's right there. The guy can play. He's a veteran guy, can get the job done. You know that. You've seen him do it before. But for him, he just got to go in there every day, just work on it, have good habits, just work on himself, stay good, because you're going to be somewhere. You're going to be on some team. I'm not sure it's the Eagles, though, because this D-line room is stacked. I don't know how many they can keep. How many more can you fit in that room?
Exactly.
That's like a meeting hall. Like, that ain't a normal room. Like, I've seen position group rooms. They got to have a whole like 3 rooms put together there to fit all them dogs in there. But yeah, for Barnett, I think that right now he's on the outside looking in, but you know how training camp goes. There could be a bump here, a bruise there, somebody goes down and he's right back up and starting lineup, and that just gives you that much more versatility to the D-line.
Yeah, I totally agree there. And that's why, the signing last year for how cheap we got him, it just made sense as a depth piece, right? Like, I know a lot of Eagle fans, and sometimes my fandom gets the best of me too. Like, he gotta be easy on the field, right? Too many bonehead plays just adding up. You know what I mean? The attitude. You know, you got the meme of Nick Sirianni saying it's always him. Like, you know, it's hard to go past that. You know, from the fandom. But like you said, look, is he going to get double-digit sacks? No, but you know, there's plenty of worse players out there that you can have come in if an injury happened than Derek Barnett. And again, I think that he has the potential. He always shows the bend, the skill set. It was just the, you know, the timing of some of these unfortunate situations, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with you right there. It's good to have someone in house and have to go out and get someone because they're already in a position where they can play. He knows the system, he knows the calls, he knows the packages, the personnel groupings, when he's gonna, you know, he knows how to play off the rest of the linemen. They know him, and you can't really account for that. That's something that it's not as easy as people think to just plug and play. So I think it's good to have him there. And obviously, you want to limit those knucklehead moves, as my old coach used to say. But you know, I think he's a good value piece because he adds so much depth.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, we didn't talk much on the offensive side of things. You know, Jalen Hurts coming off an All-Pro, second-team All-Pro. You got the wide receiver core. I just put up a tweet earlier today, combined 183 receptions for 2,690-something yards, 18 touchdowns, and 75 catches over 20 yards. I can't wait to see them in year 2 with Jalen Hurts and all that. But how do you feel about Dallas Goedert? You know, he's still – I think this is the year I think we see the best version of him. Last year, we got to see him like fresh off the deal. He battled some injuries. I do love his contested catch, his, you know, go up and get it, his yak, his blocking. He's one of the best blockers at the tight end position in the game. But today or yesterday, he spoke about working a little bit more intensely with the wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, to get in out of his breaks, some release stuff. Give me a take on Dallas Goedert being what he's going to do for this offense in 2023.
I've always said, you know, in my opinion, obviously you got Kittle there, but he's a top 3 tight end. Travis Kelce, Kittle, Goddard. I think it's all interchangeable because he does everything. The thing I love about Goddard, he is a guy that can block. He's good in the play action. He can get open. He's hard for a linebacker to guard. He's hard for a safety to guard. You want to put a cornerback on him, he's too big. Get off me. You're too small. You can't guard me. So he's a guy that I love. That's just a mismatch problem. And he's one of the most underrated guys in the league because you hear nothing about him. You hear about Devontae Smith and you hear about A.J. Brown. You don't hear about Dallas Goedert when this guy is one of the best in the NFL at what he does. I love the fact that he's working more with the receivers. You look at Travis Kelce. He ain't blocking nobody, and he's still valuable as heck. He's over 30. He's still getting the job done. One of the best overall playmakers in the league. And I think that Goddard can extend his career. You start splitting them out more, and you bring in a low-key signing that I think was one of the best signings that Howie had this year, Dan Arnold. Okay, I know he's not a name that a lot of people heard from, but he was in Jacksonville last year. I went down to that training camp. I do some Jag stuff. I work with ESPN 690 Jacksonville twice a week. I cover the Jaguars. Dan Arnold can play. He can block. He can catch. If Goddard goes down, I always said, man, when Goddard gets hurt, they don't have nobody there that can make a play. Now, Dan Arnold can play. The guy's a do-it-all tight end. He can do the move stuff. He can do the inline stuff. He can catch the football. Now you can start to see more 2 tight end sets. So I love the signing of Dan Arnold. That's going to open up Goddard more to move outside the slot, to do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Low-key forgot about that. He came in. I know he's didn't play much last year because you guys got, what's his name? Former Giant. Yeah, Ingram. But when he came there the year prior, he ended up leading that tight end room, and he came in the middle of the season, right? So, You know, I've seen him play with the Saints. I've seen him a little bit with the Cardinals and the Jags. Definitely a solid piece to play behind Goddard. And Goddard was on the way to 1,000 yards if he, you know, didn't get hurt. Now it's going to be harder because you got 2,000-yard wide receivers, but it's just so much that this offense can do. And then you add a guy like DeAndre Swift. We don't even got time to really go over that. That's going to be a fun thing to talk about as we get closer to the season. But the last thing I want to ask you, being a former player, right? Before we get out of here, how hard is it or like what's the like in the locker room thing about like really running it back? Like we didn't win the Super Bowl, but we won the NFC. We were in the Super Bowl. How hard is it to stay focused and really run it back, especially when there is new players, there's new coaches, but we do got the solid core returning pretty much. How hard is it to run it back?
I mean, it's difficult because everybody's gunning for you, and you end up having the harder schedule the next year because you had the most wins the year before. And you see the Eagles' schedule. Oh, woo! That is a tough schedule, man. I mean, that is a tough schedule, unbelievable schedule. But I think they can do it. But there's reasons that they do that is because they don't want to see teams run it back. Then the league does that they want everybody to have a chance. They want us to need new teams, so every fan base has a chance. So it's going to be harder. But I think there's one reason that the Eagles will stay focused and they will be just as good as they were before. And that's just 2 words: Jalen Hurts. This guy's all football all the time. I mean, I know you guys know in Philly, but from hearing from the players, the guys that I used to play with, I mean, he's the real deal. He's a guy that is just a true leader. He is football 24. He ain't one of these quarterbacks. I ain't going to name names. But out here in the club, chasing girls, doing the things like I'm in Miami with some friends and a bachelor party. I'm retired, bro. What are these guys doing up in the club during the week? You see these guys up. Jalen Hurts is out there practicing. He's studying tape. This dude is all football all the time. He is hungry. He didn't get that money and go sit on it and start spending. He got that money and he went straight to the gym. Okay, that's the type of guy you want as your quarterback, and that's why you pay him all that money, because he's going to get this team rolling. He's going to keep them hungry, and he's going to keep them heading in the right direction. Jalen Hurts is the reason why I think the Eagles can go back to the Super Bowl and are my favorites in the NFC to do that.
Yes. I like it. And Clay, it's always good to have you on. As we get closer to training camp and we get some training camp news, once the pads come on, I'll definitely like to get you back on here because I know you get to go. You get to, depending on your schedule, I know you got to cover the Bears for your job, but you get to, flirt around and go into these training camps. So, it's always good to get your perspective when we get to that time of year.
Absolutely. I'll be down there. Let's do it, Mike.
One of these days, I need to get down there my dang self. Yep. You know what I mean?
You got to.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, appreciate you for coming on. Chat, make sure you hit that like button if you're just getting in here. We got 250 plus in there. Go back and rewatch it. Just don't think today's Friday like Philly Mike did for the large portion of this day. You can rewatch it if you're just getting in here. It's about 30 minutes long. Clay, appreciate you. Chat, love y'all. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out. Peace.